Your heart, mother, it holds so
Oh,
much emotion and
it does.
intent and choice and everything.
Oh, thanks, John. You
So,
too.
so previously we talked about murder begins within the heart.
Yes,
Now this one is called adultery begins in the heart or in the heart.
yes.
So in 27, you have heard that it is said of those of old, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that whoever looks at a woman to lust for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and cast it from you, for it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than for your whole body to be cast into hell. And if your right hand causes you sin, cut it off and cast it from you, for it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than for your whole body to be cast into hell. Furthermore, it has been said, whoever divorces his wife, let him give her a certificate of divorce. That's wild. But I say to you that whoever divorces his wife for any reason except sexual immorality causes her to commit adultery, and whoever marries a woman who is divorced commits adultery. So even at the end of the day, it is the man's choice.
Oh, and
Causes
here.
the sin in this, which is a little messed up.
Oh, I hear when you're talking about let him give her. Is that what you mean? Because it's talking about
Well, but
it's
I say to you
about the
that
wife.
whoever divorces his wife,
Yes.
I don't think there was a lot of lesbian couples back then that were getting married. So I'm gonna say it's just the men that were divorcing their wives.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yes. Okay.
For any reason, so unless she was sexually promiscuous
Yeah.
without you,
Right. And so then that would mean that it wasn't
causes her, so you're causing your wife by getting her divorced for not. So if it's
for
anything, if I'm
other
getting
reasons.
divorced besides anything else, I'm causing her to commit adultery. So the man, sorry, I'm not trying to like, I'm just trying to
Oh no,
get
no, I
this.
understand. It isn't interesting. And
So
we're
the
in
man in
Matthew.
this case is causing the woman to commit adultery. And
Yes.
whoever marries a woman who is divorced commits adultery. So this is the man would be committing the sin now. So if you marry somebody
You're
else,
causing the woman and the new husband to commit
adultery
adultery
as well.
because you divorced her incorrectly.
Right. Who would have thought?
Because you can't be just divorcing her for no reason.
Yeah, you just understand. It's weird to hear a word like divorce certificate in
Oh
the
yeah,
Bible.
I got you. Yeah. Well, I mean, you mean because it's still here? It's still, but
Yeah. Well,
oh,
it just seems almost too formal, but even at the time, even I guess they were getting divorced and they had forms and whatnot.
oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, okay, I got you. Hmm,
But then
interesting.
in like
I
in the
mean, we're
beginning,
definitely, yeah.
mhm,
It puts a higher emphasis on not even lusting, right?
right. And it like you look at people, but you know in your heart what you're doing, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you
And we,
know.
right.
And
And
it
Lord help
does
with that temptation, because it is,
absolutely. Yeah,
yes, yes,
happens.
it happens. Yes, thank you, Lord. Help us.
But if your right eye causes you sin in your right hand, you gotta go.
Yeah.
It's a do you believe it's better to like cut off a part to save the whole? Because I think it's a little bit of a moral question at the end of the day, whether we decide to, because we might see characters within ourselves that may not be
Like good,
prosperous,
prosperous, yes.
but you may not see the need to cut it out
But
unless you're self-evaluating or figure out that it's wrong or something like that. But I mean, look, At the end of the day, these are conversations you should be having with yourself, and you should know
Right.
what, what conduct you need to change, what thought processes you need to change, like what is bringing you good things.
Or causing more temptation, maybe. Or,
Right.
I mean, you don't want to be,
At the end of the day, you're human beings, and if you know
right,
you're susceptible to something, don't put
right,
yourself in that situation.
right. It's
'Cause
right.
it's not
Exactly.
worth it.
You don't have to test it, you
And
just,
it's not like the Buddhists will go into a way of like just avoiding it altogether. And I don't mean like, I mean like the monks who are like
right,
not allowed to go to parties and whatnot. But like they will go the route of just avoidance. Whereas like I don't really have the choice to live in a monastery and just be in nature
right,
24/7. So like you can't take
right.
yourself out of it.
But maybe there is some parties that you should avoid if you know there's stuff there that you don't can
Right.
that you would be a temptation to you that would cause
And it's
this.
not like you can never go again. You just have to be more in control of
Yeah,
yourself.
right. You just and you have to be wise too, right? You have to know yourself so that you know what your limitations are too.
Right. Exactly. So be a smart individual.
Yeah, know a couple. And then sometimes we have to, but the Lord will give us strength when we need it, Lord. When we if we ask Him, like we need to ask, you know,
Or you just know you have it in you.
if you know He's already told you, right? He's shown you. He could have shown you, right?
Yeah. I mean, so like if you are supposed to do a task and you know that you can do it, and then right before you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this anymore. That's like the little bit of self-doubt that was left from the first part,
Uh,
just working its way out. But it's a choice. You can either choose to continue or not
right.
do
We
it.
do have to do hard things too, right? We do have to. So
Hmm.
33. Do you have is it the same heading or is it
Jesus forbids oaths.
okay.
Again, you have heard that it is said to those of old, you shall not swear falsely, but shall perform your oaths to the Lord. But I say to you, do not swear at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is for his footstool, nor by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Nor shall you swear by your head, because you cannot make your own hair white or black. But let your less yes be yes, and your no, no. For whatever is more than these is from the evil one. So no
like
oaths.
like you can't write no oaths. It
You
can't
as
be
a human being can't guarantee jack. How about that?
right. We can't really,
Jesus is
right?
putting you into your place.
I mean, it's right. So
Do
it's
you
not
know how many times I've been like, oh yeah, I'll be there at 7. And then, something
I
comes
know
up. And like
I'm
I
I'm
can't even
trying
guarantee what time I'll be there.
right. I
How
will
am I
try
going to
my
guarantee
best to be
anything
there.
else?
Yes, yes,
I
yes,
feel so
exactly.
bad telling people anytime I'll be there because usually I'll get it right, but most of the time it is so frustrating to get there and to make it work.
Right. Yeah. Oh, with the Lord's help, help me to be there. Otherwise,
So I mean, yeah, I don't. Oath
and
is
but
a
right.
interesting.
I mean, sometimes I think sometimes I've heard people like I'll go to church for 3 days in a row if you do this. Like they'll say stuff like that to God sometimes.
Like what?
Like I'll go to church 3 Sundays in a row if you help me with my exam or
Oh yeah, that's
that's, I don't think he want us to do, you know?
That's bartering.
That's kind of bartering. Well, it is bartering, but you're
No, it
now,
is. It just it.
but if you don't follow up with your 3 Sundays, then it's you promised, like if like if your part, then your part is that. So it's kind of like a promise, right? Your part is because you said I'm gonna go 3 Sundays in a row. Then that's your part. And if you're breaking your promise on that, your word on that. If
And
you
you're
don't do
breaking it to God.
exactly. So I don't think that's what God wants us to do. You
But
know,
not only to God, but you're breaking like if you don't follow through at least, you're breaking it
right,
to yourself.
exactly. Yes. I
Because
mean, I think that's part of it too. But there is the other covenant of like a marriage is like, a covenant between two people, right?
yeah, you know.
And a contract. That's like a different kind of oath where we don't have too many oaths probably in our everyday, but we should say yes, yes. We shouldn't be
I mean, the only
realized.
oaths you really think about are like medical, judicial, that kind of thing. Judges, doctors taking hip Hippocratic oaths.
Yes, okay, yes, yes.
So I mean,
Or
stuff
some
like that.
organizations maybe have oaths and stuff, but
Yeah, I had to take an oath.
yeah. And then so you just have to be conscious of the wording, right? And
Yeah, I
when
mean, at the end of the day, like, just
or
read the oath that you're taking.
yeah. I mean, is a mortgage an oath in a way, right?
It's an oath to a creditor.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
like
you're
a
signing,
bond.
but
Yeah, it
you're
is. It's
yeah.
a faith that they're giving you the mortgage and the house.
And then you'll pay
Well,
your money. Right.
they have to a certain extent to conduct their business. They have to have faith in you as a person to pay them back, regardless of whatever interest rates are going on there.
Yeah, exactly. There's all other things. But in verse 37, like your yes, yes, and your no, no, like you have to not be wishy-washy, but sometimes I am wishy-washy. But then I prefer not to say anything than
Well,
agree.
it
Yeah.
could be like your yes be yes and your no be no.
I mean, like when you'd be as a child, if you'd ask me, can I go to
Have you
some
ever
fun?
over explained a yes or no?
Oh, probably yes.
Like you say, you could have just said yes or no, and you kept talking. And then you start talking about your insecurities, and then you make other people
And yes, and all
start
you had
questioning
to
your
say was
decisions now.
yes.
And I'm like, well, I already told you the answer, but I gave you all this useless information.
So I just sort of should have said yes.
Right. It was as simple as that. And I said, yes.
Yes,
No. It does. It serves quite well, but sometimes a simple yes and no is a lot better.
exactly. Now my husband, he does ask me about like the weather. He's like, is it warm outside? And then I can't say yes or no because to me it might feel okay, but then I think, oh no, he's gonna think it's cold. So then I get wishy-washy. But that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. And you like a lot of the standardization that's gone on in the world has been
Mhm.
to help us better communicate. But it's things like that, and even in our own personal relationships, how we connect with each other.
Yeah,
But like, I just tell people, like, today outside, it is hazy, at least in Pennsylvania. It's
okay,
hazy. The sun is out. There's not a lot of clouds. The sun is out, but it's not like hot yet because the
right.
haze is
It's
still
keeping,
covering
yeah,
up. Yeah, it's still keeping some of the heat and the sun back. So, but a couple hours it's gonna be scorching.
yes, I think so here too. But it's really nice at the moment, isn't it?
And the last
So,
couple days, my hair has been frizzy because all the
uh,
humidity.
oh yeah, look at you with your frizzy hair, right?
Frizzy hair, the struggles.
But it's getting long. Cool.
Yeah. But
hopefully.
And peace be with you.
Peace, find a little peace.
I think so.